Sekar Kathiresan, Massachusetts General Hospital, and Harvard Medical School in Boston, United States. We've been studying over the last 10 or 15 years the genes that put people at risk for heart attack. Heart attack is the leading cause of death in the United States as well as the rest of the world, including India. Our studies have looked at the genetic basis of heart attack. We know that heart attack is the result of both lifestyle factors and genetic factors. And we've tried to tease out what are the specific genetic factors that put people at risk, and what are the lifestyle factors that put people at risk, and how do they interact with each other. The study that I described today showed that about 50 different spots in the human DNA sequence increase risk for heart attack, that you can basically put all those spots together into a score for each person. And if you happen to have a high genetic risk score, your risk for heart attack is about 2-fold higher than those who don't have a high genetic risk score. In addition, we looked at lifestyle, and we made a lifestyle score. Out of just 4 lifestyle factors, one is smoking, another is body weight, the third is diet rich in fruits and vegetables, and the fourth is physical activity. You could basically be ideal on all 4 of those, and that would be a perfect score of 4. You could be bad on all 4 of those, and that would be a score of 0. And we looked at the relationship of the lifestyle score to risk of heart attack. And it turned out that if you had a very unfavorable lifestyle, your risk for heart attack was about 75% greater than if you had a favorable lifestyle. So now we have a score for genetics, we have a score for lifestyle. The last part of the study looked at the interaction between the two. And specifically, we wondered is if you had a high genetic risk, could you actually counterbalance that genetic risk by being ideal in terms of lifestyle, by having a favorable lifestyle? And remarkably, what we were able to show is that if you had high genetic risk, you could cut that risk by about half if you had a very favorable lifestyle that included not smoking, being lean in terms of your weight, eating fruits and vegetables, and exercising or physical activity regularly. So those are the main findings of our study. The study that I just described involved individuals of European ancestry, whites, in the United States, as well as blacks, African ancestry, in the United States. Most of the genetic studies done to date have included individuals from US and Europe, and some have included Indians living in London, but none of the studies have included Indians living in India. This is a major gap in our knowledge right now, particularly on the genetic side. We need to figure out whether the same score that I just showed you, that I just told you about, for genetics risk in whites and blacks, whether that same score applies to people in India. And we really need to make progress by studying Indians in India with heart attack and without. Over the last 10 years or so, the reason there haven't been a lot of studies done is twofold. The studies have not been done in India because there was a legal rule that blocked samples from leaving India, DNA samples from leaving India to other parts of the world. And second, there was limited capacity within India to be able to do the genetic analysis. Thankfully, the last couple of years, this has changed. The legal rules are being loosened. More importantly, there's now dramatic improvement in capability within India to do genetic analysis. And pretty much anything that can be done in the United States or Europe in terms of sequencing and genotyping and subsequent computer analysis can now all be done here. So I'm very excited about the possibility of finally being able to do genetic studies in India. The study that we're going to focus on is looking at people with heart attack and without, as well as diabetes, with diabetes and without. And in a project called Genome Asia 100K, we are looking to do genetic analysis in about 100,000 people all across Asia, with a large fraction of that coming from India.